Donaire, he scared me. I'm a real monster.
I don't need all this stuff. First, you disrespected me, my family, my kids, my wife.
This is not worth it anymore.
They said my way or the highway.
See you almost for this.
So you're giving him what, 3 rounds, Nonito?
I'm giving him a plane ticket back to the Philippines by
Well, sports fans, we've got none other than the reigning WBC bantamweight champion Nonito, the Filipino Flash Donaire, and his manager, trainer, and wife, Rachel. Welcome to our show. And well, for Nonito, welcome back to our show, Play It Right. And for Rachel, this is your first time to come on, but we're excited to hear from you about what's going on with this Nonito Donaire versus John Riel Casimero fight. Is this going to happen? First, how did it happen? And then it looks like it's going to unhappen. Can you give us an update? What's going on?
Well, you wanted the fight.
Yes, well, I wanted to fight because I wanted to put all the belts together. And everything just happened.
Well, I mean, we saw him Saturday, June 19th, and we thought everything was cordial. But apparently it wasn't. Like, you know, he did a bunch of interviews during that week. He said, I think this is exciting for Filipino boxing. He didn't say anything about Casimero because we really don't know him. And then Sunday, after, you know, they fought and they took pictures and stuff like that, then all this other stuff came up and just kind of blindsided us because we don't really know him. So, I mean, I don't know why he would think he knows us.
Yeah. But were there contracts signed for this fight? And I understand that Richard Schaefer, Sean Gibbons, premier boxing champions, all got together and they thought a Donaire versus Casimero fight would be just so explosive, would be such a box office hit that all of a sudden they forgot about Rigondo, who was supposed to fight Casimero in the first place. So my question is, were contracts signed? And was there a clause in that contract that said that one of the fighters could opt out of the fight given certain conditions?
I can say that there was contract signed, but there are clauses in there that provide for the testing. And once that wasn't abided by, then we have the option to leave.
Okay, now the question is, as far as testing is concerned, Casimero says he has enrolled with VADA, and if they can prove that tests have been done or tests are going to be done and that he will comply with all the requirements stipulated in the contract, can this fight or will this fight go on?
I don't think so.
So you're definitely off the table now? You definitely decide you don't want this fight because...
Well, there's the thing about me, you know, I'm at the point where I don't need all this stuff, you know, and it's gonna be my rules or get the heck out, because first you disrespected me, my family, my kids, my wife, for what reason that you have, you know. Again, I'm the one that made this fight happen, not them, you know. And if the fight is gonna go through, definitely an apology from them to my wife, to my team, for the disrespect. I mean, we're Filipinos, you know, we're supposed to encourage each other and may the best man win instead of pushing us down. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we are becoming a circus, Filipino versus Filipino. I'm not all about that.
So in the latest, I think, tweet of VADA, it said that both you and Casimero have registered for the testing. So is that acceptable already to you? The fact that on that part, without the apology part, just he's signed up for the testing, and so it looks like he's gonna go with it.
For me or for him? I mean, for me,
You're
no.
manager.
For me,
speak.
no.
I have my own.
For me, no. The WBC, you know, I forwarded some evidence over to Sir Kinito. when the WBC, they kept claiming we're enrolled. On the 23rd, you know, they're VADA 24/7 WBC. It's not the same program. That's first off. So I don't know how to manager doesn't know that there's two different programs. And so they're claiming WBC, we're enrolled. We've been enrolled since 2017. And that was on the 23rd. On the 24th, I received an email that they couldn't find Casimero because he never updated his whereabouts form. Mind you, he's been in the States for how many weeks now? And being in any of the programs that need whereabouts forms needs to be updated within 24 hours of your move. And they never updated it. I had to give the WBC Sean Gibbons' phone number. That's not my job. Sean Gibbons should be updating it immediately, and he chose not to. So, and then come the 25th, later that night, so it literally took, 2 to 3 days for them to actually get verification. Then, of course, like, hey, look, see, if you read the tweet from Mauricio, it says he has been enrolled since 2017 and has updated his whereabouts form. That's part of that email or the tweet shows he just updated it. But they're going to play this game. It's all semantics. So the whole thing with VADA is the exact same thing. On Tuesday, I said VADA 24/7. Sean kept saying we're 24/7. We are enrolled in the VADA. We're enrolled. And I had already submitted our paperwork on the 26th. So I was asking, they're like, we're not going to pay for it. So I said, I'll pay for it. Then it was, give us the money to pay for the VADA. I'm not handing over cash to the Casimero account. Then it was, we can't find the forms. And
sorry, who was asking you for the money for the testing?
Casimero's account. His boys, they're on live. That's how they like to address us. So here's the problem. Well, let me finish with the VADA. So, regardless of everything, they kept claiming, and the final claim was Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. They are putting it on Twitter. We're enrolled. They took a picture of the application. And I said, oh, really? Let me check. And I emailed, and sure enough, they had not turned their forms. And I was done with the circus, So I said, we're done. You think that I'm not going to cancel the fight over this? I'm not going to keep chasing people to do the right thing. And really, honestly, the right thing was for them to, if he had a problem with June, when we saw him last Saturday, he should have talked to him about it. Sean Gibbons has my number. We could have taken this completely offline. But instead, they wanted to go on Twitter. They wanted to make memes. They wanted to show videos and have them telling me to, do not so nice things on their videos. So apparently the only way was to get their attention through social media. It's unfortunate that, like June said, this is the first world title, Filipino versus Filipino fight. And this is what we're showing the world.
Okay, assuming Rachel and Nonito, that the Casimero camp apologizes for the things that have happened before, for the things that they have said, for how they may have disrespected your family and your good selves. I'm just trying to find a way to salvage this fight, because this fight, as you said, is going to be historic. The first time in history that there will be two reigning world Filipino champions fighting to try to find an undisputed world bantamweight champion. Can this fight still be salvaged?
He still has my belt, but he has to follow my direction, my rules, and go from there. Because, okay, I'm gonna call the shot. He can't call the shot. From the things that they've done, I've let all of that stuff out.
Let it slide.
Yeah, I've let it slide. I was off of it. My focus was to train, and then all of this started just bombarding on me, and all the disrespect. You want to make the fight happen? I was the one that made this fight happen. She was the one that reached out and made this fight happen. And so for me, again, I have my goal, but if somebody's not willing to take my condition as long as possible when it comes down to it, but I have a lot of options, they don't.
So the bottom line is, this could still be happening. August 14, Casimero versus Donaire versus Casimero could still happen, given that the Casimero camp does these things that you really want them to do? I mean, to show respect, not only to your family, but also to the fight game and to the Filipinos. Because as you said, you know, we're all Filipinos. Let's show some respect to each other. But let me ask you also a question, Nonito. Bob Arum came out with a statement saying that you don't need Casimero. We can get you the fight with Inoue straight up, straight on. So is that now playing in your mind? Why do I have to go through Casimero? Why do I have to go through this if my ultimate goal is to have a rematch with Inoue? And Bob Arum is saying, I've got this signed up or locked in for you. What can you say about that?
Like I said, you know, I'm the guy who fights anybody and everybody at any moment, anytime. I'm always ready, you know, and that's like I mentioned earlier, I have choices. So if they don't play my game, my way, then there is choices for me to make.
Okay.
They don't.
Okay.
So do you have like a time frame, I guess? So as of now, it's off, right?
I called it off yesterday morning. Magically after that, then their applications got turned in, and I'm like I said, I'm not. How long is this game going to play? Like, how much more memes am I going to go through? How much more videos of disrespect am I going to go through? Are you not going to show up at the weigh-ins because you forgot it's California time and not New York time? I don't know. I don't know what games they're going to play. It's just, it's been, you know, I just turned 39 Monday. I didn't think my first week of being this age was going to be dealing with this kind of immaturity. And literally, that's one of the beauties of growing up, right? Like, you start to decide, like, this is not worth it anymore. And he's making it completely not worth it, and a whole mind game. And we've just never been a part of that kind of circus. You know, he was the first one to enroll in VADA, 24/7, 365 out of his own pocket. He had support from his promoters to have all the opponents also go into it. The WBSS tournament, every single fighter was in the VADA program. So we've stood by VADA this entire time because they've been catching a lot of people that thought that they were going to not get caught with performance enhancing drugs. Apparently it's working. People are getting caught. So if that's, you know, when that's the case and I challenge someone to it and people start to throw personal attacks and demean your character instead of just signing the paper, I don't understand. That's the one thing I don't understand. This is a professional sport. NFL, baseball, hockey, all of these things, they all have to be tested. Why do we fight being tested and how we're tested?
And it's just a signature. Just do it. If you have nothing to hide, signature, sign it. I've done it all throughout. What's so hard about it?
So I guess they're gonna have to do a lot of communicating with you now.
Through the Twitter then and the line.
They said my way or the highway.
Yeah, they're gonna have to comply. So, well, I guess that leaves us with some waiting to do. Do you have so like you said, you called it off yesterday. Are you giving them a time to make it right?
Go home now.
He can go home to back to the Philippines.
I have nothing to do with. He's not my fighter. Like, Sean has to explain to him and MP Promotions why this thing blew up. It's not my responsibility. Because if it was my fighter, I would have told him to shut off his live a long time ago. I would have told my people as my responsibility to be quiet and to be respectful.
Now here's a question, Rachel and Nonito. Memo Heredia, we all know about him. We all know his history, his background. We all know that he took care of Juan Manuel Marquez in that fateful fourth fight against Manny Pacquiao. He's on the side of Casimero. He's done an excellent job with Casimero. I mean, he prepared him for his fight against Duke Micah, and he demolished Micah in 3 rounds. And a lot of it is because of the conditioning and the strength program of Memo Heredia. What can you say about Memo Heredia? Because he did come out with a video that was rather disrespectful, but taking away that side of Memo, he seems to be good at what he's supposed to do. Your comments about Memo Heredia?
I don't know what he does. I mean, I've honestly never seen him in camp. You know, you see some videos here and there. And until he put himself in this situation, and that's what I thought was pretty fishy. We just said Vada, and all of a sudden he injected himself into the conversation and said, "What does this have to do with me?" I honestly don't know what it has to do with him, but
I said to him, like, no one mentioned you. You know, no one had said anything about you. I don't know who's telling you that I said something about you. It has nothing to do with you. I don't know why you're trying to interject here when no one is even talking about you.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know him personally. I don't know what he does behind closed doors. I don't know how he trains with fighters. I can't comment on
the eventuality, Rachel and Nonito, that this fight does happen. I think it'll even be more explosive than what originally it was supposed to be. Don't you think? I think it's something that now the whole world will want to watch, because there's been a war of words. There's been some bad blood spilled. I think if this happens, it's going to be a monumental fight. What do you think?
What do you mean by monumental? Because we've studied him for over a couple weeks now. We already had to establish a game plan.
We're very ready for him.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's just the fact that we don't care about him anymore. He put himself on the sideline. There was no one else that is responsible for this besides him creating the bad blood. That's it.
Yeah, there's no bad blood. You know me. I've never had anyone. Why does it have to be with a Filipino?
I know, out of
all the people in the world, why is it with the Filipino? I've fought in Ireland and they love me out there. I fought in Japan and they love me out there. Why is it a Filipino? It baffles. We're a countryman. We're supposed to just, you know what, may the best man win, and we'll do our best. And yet you guys are tarnishing the image of Filipinos.
So Nonito, prior to this, you've been already training, like you said, you studied all his moves now. You're already getting your mind focused on your game plan for the fight.
Oh, I have a tremendous game plan, and I don't think it's gonna last long at all.
All right.
So you're giving him what, 3 rounds, Nonito?
I'm giving him a plane ticket back to the Philippines because this fight is canceled. Thank you, Casimero. This is your fault.
Hey, manager's manager, man. You know, a fighter is always gonna fight. That's it.
You have to be responsible for the things that you did. They put themselves here. We didn't do anything, and everyone's coming and, you know, citing. Apparently, you don't speak Tagalog or Visayan.
I was talking to him in Visayan. You know, when we were at the fight. I was talking to him, because he can't understand English. I mean, if I talk to him in English, he can't understand me. So I talked to him in Visayan.
Nonito, can you tell us? Can you greet your fans out there, both in Tagalog and Bisaya? I mean, let's hear it from you. Come on.
Magpasalamat lang ko sa inyong tanan din ha, sa inyong pag-ampo, sa inyong pagsuporta. Ang problema lang nga wala mi na natuloy ning away kay ang problema namo, pero siguro sa future, but ang akong unang istorya sa inyo nga pasalamat lang po sa inyo. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, sa lahat ng mga suporta nyo. Abangan niyo po the next time we will have a news for you guys, and it's gonna be amazing, and you guys are you're gonna tune in. So again, maraming salamat po. So walang hina, mga Bisaya.
That sounds good to me. You know, before we let you go, Rachel and Nonito, I just want to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned that you guys made this Casimero fight happen. Casimero was supposed to fight Rigondo. Can you take us step by step how this thing came about, this fight between you and Casimero? The role that Rachel played, the role that Richard Schaefer played, the role that Sean Gibbons played. Who were the parties involved? Because you caught everyone by surprise. I mean, our pants fell down when we heard the news that Casimero and Donaire were gonna get it on. Can you tell us step by step what exactly happened?
Well, I made the decision of becoming undisputed, you know, and she went and worked her magic.
Well, we had found out that Sean had said on a live, someone had sent it to me, and they said this fight is this fight possible? Because he was like, Nonito, you want some? Come get it. So I was like, okay, so does that mean the fight's possible? And I called Richard, and he was like, does Nonito want this fight? So he talked to Richard, and he's like, I want all the belts. And he's like, okay, let me go work on it. Sean had nothing to do with it with us. I don't talk to Sean. So it was just literally him deciding, communicating with me, them inviting, and then Richard working with Tom Brown, the event promoter, to make it happen.
Yeah, I must say that I was also kind of like shocked when I saw, it's Donaire Casimero na, and then at first, it was like a wow, friendly thing, like, yeah, okay, we're gonna do this, and then of course then all these things happen. So I'm still hoping that it happens, just for the excitement of boxing, but are you already looking to your next fight, Nonito?
Manager.
Richard and I have decided to take the day off, Sunday, and we're supposed to talk tomorrow about what our other options are going forward.
So I guess we'll wait to hear from you, and then also see what happens with the Casimero camp. Meantime, stay safe, and thanks for talking to us as always. Looking forward to your next battle on the ring.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, same here, Rachel and Nonito. Thanks for coming on Play It Right TV. I'm just thinking that this is really unfinished business, because the door is open. We want some closure to this. And as you said, you've set the rules. You've set the parameters of how this fight can still happen. So it's really up to the Casimero camp. We're all hoping that it happens, because, as Diane said, just for the excitement of it. And also because we want to see history made. 2 reigning world champions from the Philippines. I mean, that would be amazing. But as you said, rules have been set out. You guys have different options. And Casimero has to play by the rules. And let's see what the Casimero camp has to say. Meanwhile, thank you again very much for gracing our show, and hope to see you again soon.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.